What I'd like to talk about today is how you actually set your goals and give yourself the maximum chance of achieving them. And this is relevant. If you're a coach, this would be relevant as a process to use with your clients. And I'm sure we've all sort of seen a lot of this before, but it's nice to have it mapped out as a structured approach. So it all starts, first of all, with what are your values? What are the things that are most important to you? So you have to start with your values. And from your values, you can then visualize what your ideal life looks like and what your ideal work life looks like and what your ideal business life looks like. And when you know that, you can then set your goals. And there's certain rules for setting goals. The first thing is they need to be in writing, because if they're not in writing, they don't go into the subconscious mind effectively, and therefore you're less likely to achieve them. They need to be what's called SMART, as I'm sure a lot of you have heard before, which is specific. So you need to know exactly what you want. You need to be able to measure whether you've actually got it or not, so measurable. You need to believe it's achievable, even if it's really stretching and demanding and incredibly rewarding if you get there. You still need to believe you can achieve it, so achievable. It needs to be relevant. So unless it's something that's really important to you, it won't work. You have to set a goal that you really want, so it has to be relevant. And you have to know when you want it by, so it has to be time-based, because the time-based bit, the deadline bit, again tells the subconscious mind what you want and when you want it by. So you need to follow those rules. And you also need to follow the 3 Ps, which is it needs to be personal, so it needs to be I rather than, someone else. It needs to be present tense, so it would be I am or I earn. So I earn $500,000 a month, for example, as an ambitious one. And it needs to be personal, positive. It needs to be positive. So you don't say I'm going to lose weight. You say I'm going to weigh a certain amount. So because the subconscious mind can't handle negatives, so it has to be personal, present tense, and positive. Okay, right now beyond that, what we want to do is to get these goals out of our conscious mind, which is what we say we want, into our subconscious mind, which is the bit of our brain, if you like, that drives our behavior and has us looking out for opportunities and openings and relevant people to meet, etc., to achieve our goals. So writing it out and following that format helps achieve that. But you also want to do a few other things. So you have to visualize yourself having achieved your goals, and you have to visualize it and feel the emotion of having got the satisfaction, the sense of achievement. So you need to feel it with emotion, and you need to visualize it, and you need to visualize it back to the future. So what you do is you imagine that you're already, say, 3 years from now, and that you're looking back to now. So you're there looking back to now, feeling incredibly satisfied because you've achieved your goal or goals, and seeing all the things that you did to get there. So the reason I've got here is because you think and believe all the things that you achieved in order to get there. So you see all these things as things you've achieved, rather than if you look forward from now, you see them as obstacles or barriers. So those are all very important things that you need to incorporate into the process. You also need a variety of goals. You need goals to apply to different parts of your life. So something to do with your business and your money, but your family, your friends, relationship, your health. So you need goals in various aspects or various areas of your life. And this is the controversial bit, and you'll get people arguing about this. But basically what seems to happen, and what a lot of evidence seems to suggest, although it's one of those things that you can't prove, the same as you can't prove whether there's a God, and you can't prove whether angels dance on the head of a pin. It's all about whether you believe it or not. But what seems to happen is if you know with great clarity what you want in your subconscious mind, then there seems to be some mechanism whereby you connect with a larger entity out there. Now, if you're religious, it'll be God or Allah or whoever your religious person is. But if you're not religious, it's been described as a quantum universe, as a superconscious mind, as our bodies don't stop where our flesh ends. But what seems to happen is your mind has a way of tapping into a sort of greater thing beyond your mind, looking out for opportunities and ways to achieve your goals. But that can only happen if you've got absolute clarity and you really know what you want and you really feel with emotion that you want it. Now, beyond that, there's a few other rules. The first thing is that you can't actually control outcomes. So even if you do all this properly, you have to trust that your superconscious mind and subconscious mind working together, if you like, will achieve something for you that either is what you want or that's something that would be better for you, but you didn't know it. So you have to trust the outcome. You have to leave go of the outcome. Susan Jeffers in Embracing Uncertainty talks about imagining the outcome in your brain and cutting the outcome off with a pair of scissors. What you can control is your actions. So this process means that you will be motivated and your subconscious mind will guide you towards appropriate actions and behaviors to achieve those goals, even though you've let go of the actual outcomes themselves. Which then comes back to this, because if you're setting longer and medium term goals, you'll be setting outcomes. But if you're setting shorter term goals and 90-day goals, they're more like action plans, because what you really want to do over the shorter term is set goals that incorporate the actions you're going to undertake, so that they become habits, and the very actions are what drive you towards the achievement of your goals. So there's a lot of support for the idea of a 90-day set of goals or actions, and the idea is 90 days is a long enough period to achieve significant results, but a short enough period that it doesn't seem too far in the distance. And what you do in your 90-day set of goals is you actually set the actions that you're going to undertake every day in order to achieve the goals. So these short-term goals tend to be more action-based, whereas the longer ones would be more outcome-based. I think that's it. The two chairs here is that's in the future, looking back to now. So the idea is you're in the future, looking back to now and feeling having achieved the goal with emotion. So that's an overall process that I've mapped out there for setting and achieving goals. You can read, there's so much literature in the area, but effectively I think that covers what most people seem to be saying. There's this idea of a quantum universe, the idea that your brain is only a small part of it, and that if your subconscious mind is looking out for things, then it relates to other parts of the superconscious mind all over the universe, really. It's a bit like the idea that a particle can affect the behavior of another particle the other side of the universe. It seems to be a similar idea in terms of goals and outcomes. But again, there was a quote, but basically you can't prove it, but there was a quote that says something along the lines of, if you can't prove it, then why not choose the option that makes you happy rather than the option that makes you unhappy? So that's not the actual quote, but there's something similar. Anyway, that's enough for today. So that's the plan, basically. That's how you go about setting your goals and achieving them. I hope you found that useful. If you know of anyone who might be interested in being a business coach, or you are, and they might be interested in ideas to help you take a practice to the next level, maybe as a coach or an accountant, and ideas in terms of having a system to operate, and in terms of strategies and tactics and resources and templates, etc., with no downsides in terms of initial investment or being locked in to any length of time to have to pay a fee or any territorial restrictions, anything like that, have a look at coachforprofit.com/Bernard. There's an 8-minute video there which I hope you'll find very illuminating. And if you want to know how you can offer a 200% return on investment guarantee to your coaching clients, again, have a look at that video and then schedule a time to talk and I can explain it to you. So I hope you found that useful. If you liked it, then if you could like it and share it, I'd be very grateful. Thank you very much for watching. To find out more about this opportunity, go to internationalbusinesscoaches.com. So click on the link at the top of the page and watch this short 8-minute video. And if you think there's something in there that's of interest to you and you'd like to discuss it further, then click and schedule a time for us to talk. Reminding you that if you have the capacity to take on more clients and you want to increase your coaching or consulting revenue well into the 6-figure range, then you need to watch this video. Thank you very much.